We back, y'all, with another amazing video for y'all, man. Shit, we just gonna be on some chill shit today, man. Let's get educated. Let's get educated, bro. There's a lot going on in the world that folks need to be paying attention to. Shit, that's all I really gotta say. Let's get into it, man. The video, let's get into it.
And what the fuck is happening in China with mass protests rising up against the Communist Party? And why haven't we at the media been covering it? Well, we'll tell you our perfectly good explanation for why we've been silent about what's going on. But first, let's start with what's happening with Justin Trudeau's favorite regime to be
Bro, you know what's so weird? I be thinking about it, like, bro, when it comes to reaction videos, I don't fit into, like, any niche, bro. Cause I don't even, like, for when I don't have a fucking audience yet, but I don't even have my audience, bro. Like, I don't know nobody that can, like, be on some fun, lit ass shit and then switch up to the political shit. So I don't know. Y'all need to go film it, but this is real interesting. Y'all folks pay attention. Y'all keep your eyes peeled. There's a lot going on in the world. Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister.
Sodomized by
He a demon.
The Chinese Communist Party. They've enforced 3 years of perfectly reasonable lockdowns to simply help slow the spread. Those lockdown measures include welding people's doors shut to keep them safely locked inside, and sending people to these luxurious concentration camps. The Chinese Communist Party has also enacted additional medical measures, such as mercilessly beating innocent people.
I might have already seen this.
Have been banned, because obviously such words would be misinformation. This just in! Liberals, take note of where banning speech takes you. Right to destination communism.
Wait, let me see something.
Alright,
let's lock in.
And sending people to these luxurious concentration camps. The Chinese Communist Party has also enacted additional medical measures, such as mercilessly beating innocent people for leaving their home.
That shit's fucked up, bro. Like, that's so crazy. People, they don't, especially Americans, we are so egotistical that we won't even look outside of our own country and realize that shit be going on, bro. Shit be going down. Y'all be bitching and complaining about being American, like, or being from America, being in America. Look what the fuck going on overseas in China, bro. Motherfucker getting their ass beat because they want to go outside, bro. And then they're using COVID as an excuse to keep them all inside, like.
And spraying them with mysterious chemicals.
Nah, that shit, like I said, I seen this part before. I seen the beginning clip. Bruh, that shit wild as fuck. Like, nigga, them like some damn chemtrails, bruh.
For leaving their homes and spraying them with...
What you spraying me with, nigga? Like, what the hell is that? And why aren't you explaining what it is, bro? You can't just do that, bro. Like, I don't even know what to say. I feel like that shit gonna make you go infertile. That shit's wild, though.
With mysterious chemicals, all of which are perfectly reasonable medical procedures based on science. As we know, violence is an effective way to beat the virus right out of a person. And the best part of all this is, there's been no end in sight to the Chinese Communist Party's rather aggressive lockdowns. Because you don't have to keep inconveniently moving the goalposts if you just eliminate the goalposts. Right, Fauci? Yeah. China's...
Flashback, Fauci praised China for renewed life. I know a lot of y'all that might not be on the political shit. Y'all already know don't fuck with Fauci, bro. Can't trust that nigga.
Been doing it right, haven't they? However,
can't trust him at all.
For some reason, the people of China are erroneously starting to think that the lockdowns aren't about a virus. That wrong think can...
You wanna know a sad truth? Now, pray for people in China, bro, for real. Like, that shit bad. But the sad truth is that for a lot of them, it really took this long for them to realize that the lockdowns was using an excuse to keep them in line and to keep them controlled, bro. Like, y'all might disagree with me with this take, but like Asian people, like maybe not Asian Americans, per se, but like traditionally Asian people from Asian countries, they have a habit of being like very conforming. Like they don't really question much because it's their culture. Like do as you told, you know, respect, honor, hierarchy, all that bullshit. So they just so programmed and conditioned to do as they told that it didn't even like rise in their mind to think like, oh nah, this might be some bullshit. No, I'm being a good Asian citizen. I think it's a saying that's made in Asian cultures. The nail that sticks out gets hammered in. And so a lot of it goes on over there. And so people, they don't like to think, there's no originality or creativity. They just, a lot of them are the true definition of a bot. I'm sorry, bro.
Combined with being tired of being protected with violence and being locked in their homes and prisons, was combined with outrage recently
That's so crazy how people could just come in and lock you inside of your home. Like they'll build shit around your crib to keep you inside. They'll lock your door shut. They'll board up your like what? Nah, that's crazy, bro.
an apartment complex caught on
And before
fire.
y'all say LVID, L reaction, y'all need to know this shit, bro. Like for real, like everything don't gotta be on that fun ass. I can't talk that fun ass goofy ass shit, bro. Sometimes you gotta switch it up. Like this is real life over here.
And 10 people died because they were locked inside, which the communist authorities are denying, because after all, being burned to death is a very effective measure to prevent dying from COVID. But that was the straw that broke the mass formation psychosis's back, and the citizens started rising up in mass protests in what's been the
My only issue is that this is good that they're rising up and protesting, but China's government is so corrupt that I'm not even sure like how much good that will do. I think the more corrupt the government, the more you have to be willing to risk it all. And I don't think that they're really brave enough or bold enough to risk as much as they're willing to risk because in China they already have policies in place. They already have corrupt politicians, leaders, and things like that. It's kind of hard to usurp that at this point. Like it's kind of too far gone.
biggest display of civil disobedience since Xi Jinping took over China. And now, across China, we're seeing citizens tearing down testing centers, tearing down barricades, and chanting, "Give me liberty or give me death," in some kind of foreign dialect.
Yo, that's literally our trademark. That's our American trademark, bro. Give me liberty or give me death. That is our trademark. These people are yearning for freedom. This is what we as Americans need to continue to stand up and fight for, bro. That's crazy. Like we really everyone's role model when you think about it.
Dialect. No word yet on what that language is. But we can say it is easier to understand than whatever people from Louisiana speak. And notably, many of the protesters are holding up blank sheets of white paper in what have now been named the white paper protests. Why the white paper? Aside from the fact that 99% of paper is white, any words or phrases of criticism against the Chinese Communist Party have been banned. Because obviously, such words would be misinformation.
That's crazy. And now you got to think about like what other billion-dollar, trillion-dollar corporations also got their hand in the pot of, the Chinese global economy. They're probably going to be influenced or motivated to not speak out against certain things. If you're just generating all this revenue and you have deep connection with China, probably not going to talk about it. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, who else got a hand in what's like, and just allowing for shit like this to continue to go like unnoticed and unchecked. Am I light tweaking? Hey, don't be tweaking out, nigga. Hey, Nick. Playing with me. I can't have you tweaking out today. Not today. Fix yourself or I fix you. Nigga. Get right.
nation. This just in! Liberals, take note of where banning speech takes you. Right to destination communism, which is exactly where we want to go. Nonetheless, holding up blank sheets of white paper with no words on them is a way the citizens are expressing their anger at the Chinese Communist Party without using words. And many citizens are calling for the head dictator.
That is a dope form of protest. Because they literally can't speak out or they get killed. So it's like, there's certain lines that now they aren't allowed, as corrupt as they are, to legally cross. They can't just blatantly kill people out in the streets, bro. Because you're just holding up a white piece of paper. I wonder how far this will go.
The Communist Party, Xi Jinping, to step down due to the suffering and deaths that he has inflicted on the citizens. And here's a fun fact for you. The consequences of protesting against a brutal communist dictatorship happen to be a little bit different than dyeing your hair blue, combing your non-binary armpit hair, and then going off to burn businesses down in Portland in order to
That's
protest.
so crazy that we can do things like this in America, but doing shit like that in China will literally get you killed, and no one will feel sorry for you.
Against democracy. In China,
FDLM.
protesting against a murderous dictatorship that doesn't care about you for your protection means you risk imprisonment or even death. So if you didn't know any better, you might think that things are pretty bad for the citizens to be risking so much. But we don't want you to know any better, which brings us to our next point. Why, with a significant human rights movement happening in China right now, have we at the mainstream media been relatively silent about it all? Well, it's not what you think. It's just that we don't want you to know about it. That's all. But why not? For more on that, let's throw it over to our very unelected leader of the free world, Klaus Schwab.
I respect China's achievements, which are tremendous over the last over 40 years.
Look at this demon.
I think it's
Klaus Schwab is literally like the evil incarnate. Like, this man is a literal demon, bro. Literal demon. He needs like, why is he still alive, bro? Why is he still alive? Somebody needs to knock his ass off. Knock this nigga head off, bro. Because, like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, look at him, bro. And if y'all don't know, bro, do y'all research. I hate to be one of those people, but do y'all research. Look at, I think it's called World Economic Forum. Just look it up. It'll tell you everything you need to know, bro. He the mastermind behind the entire globalist agenda.
role model for many countries.
That's right. According to Professor Droopyface, Communist China is a role model for the rest of the world during this time of global transformation that nobody agreed to.
Exactly.
Schwab is reptilian enough to know that communism has never worked, still isn't, but will work if we just keep doing more of it, including in the US, Canada, and Australia. With many Chinese citizens now willing to risk death rather than continuing to live in the brutal conditions of communism that Schwab wants to bring to the rest of the world, we at the media are here to assist Klaus's great communist reset. So we felt it's better that we hide the realities of his vision by withholding the Chinese uprising from you while we spoon feed you the imagination of his vision, which delivers the WEF's recommended daily allowance of compliance. And you can also look forward to us not telling you anything about the millions of people in Brazil who have been protesting for weeks.
Oh shit, what the hell going on in Brazil? Bro, shit be going down in the world, bro. It really do. And as Americans, we just be like we literally be bots, bro. When, like, we should be the most tapped in out of anybody, bro. For real. We really should be the most tapped in. I want y'all to know this shit, bro. Like, the fuck? Like, shit really be going down, bro.
The daily allowance of compliance. And you can also look forward to us not telling you anything about the millions of people in Brazil who have been protesting for weeks.
What's going on in Brazil,
Nor do you
bro?
need to know anything about the 15,000 protesters in Iran, standing for human rights, that are now set to be executed in a mass genocide. Instead, just look at this beautiful picture again.
Oh my God. Bro, it's such a scary world that we live in. And it's like COVID kind of just ramped that shit up. The aftermath of COVID, the aftermath of COVID has left so many negative effects on the world. Like, so many nations, so many countries protesting for various reasons. Like, a lot of them is tied to lockdown, but like, there is a large like cultural and power shift in the world, bro, between the people and the government, bro. And it's just crazy how like that's literally going down everywhere. I wish more people knew about shit like this, if I'm being honest. I wish more people knew about shit like this. But at the same time, what they do is they use valid reasons overstep a line of something that should be like known and understood. Now, if that didn't make sense, I'm finna explain it now. Now, I get why us as Americans or American corporations wouldn't want to like pry or like be too into the business of other nations, because that can create conflict with those nations. It's on some type of energy like, oh, you know, that's none of your business. You feel me? Like, stay out of it. Like, oh, since you're trying to expose us, we're gonna cut ties with whatever we got going on. And so that's a valid reason why they wouldn't want to like report too much on stuff going on in other nations. But at the same time, they use that valid reason to justify not saying anything at all. Just not saying anything. And then that is what creates the problem. Because it's like, okay, you get why they're not saying anything, but they're using that as, man, y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. I know. If y'all don't, bro, I don't even know what to tell y'all, bro.
Transformation. It'll bring more happiness to the world. Right, Klaus?
So we have to prepare for a more angry world.
Can't wait. And we're not going to let
Prepare
anything
for a
get in
more
the way of our...
Why? What about the world is going to be angry? And how do you know and anticipate that happening? Maybe it's because you're the one orchestrating all this shit.
Our global transformation, especially people. That's it for tonight's special report on the uprising in China that we don't want you to know about. And if you've ever wondered why Americans are being taught to hate their country but love their administration, you probably don't have to wonder anymore. Enjoy the ride. It'll continue if you allow it. Good night.
All right. What the fuck, mass protests in China over you know what? Awaken with JP, that's the content creator, if you didn't already know at this point. It's kind of crazy, bro. It's kind of crazy. He said Americans are being taught to love their government but hate their country. Think about that. You hate your country. You're so much of a bot that you hate your country without possibly considering or directing that anger or disdain towards the people who actually run it. Like, no, you can't trust your government. You can't accept everything your government puts out there, bro. Why are you gonna hate? You need to love your country, because your country is your people, not necessarily your government. So that should come before the disdain of the government. Hate the government first and then hate your country. But it shouldn't be hate my country, trust the government, or hate my country and then hate the government. You got the whole, that shit backwards. But that's in this video. I just wanted to play something different for y'all today, man. I love y'all. And I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, prop me up again. Yeah, we go through this again and again and again. She just wanna get higher than the twins. Talking towers, go to work, she put in hours. I'm so good like Austin Powers. We ain't got a groovy, we gon' make a movie. They fuck more than some rap.